Minnesota Vikings and tight end Kyle Rudolph will likely be consciously uncoupling this offseason, and it's going to be the best for both parties. And ESPN's NFL Nation writers got together, did a list of 32 players who benefit from a change of scenery. Vikings writer Courtney Cronin wrote about the Golden Dumber. Quote, a couple weeks ago, the veteran tight end stated on a podcast that he wasn't open to the idea of restructuring his contract for the 2021 season, and that he couldn't sign up for the type of role he played in the offense over the past 2 years, which saw his targets dwindle as he was no longer a top red zone threat. Rudolph has been a staple in Minnesota since 2011, but a split would do both parties a world of good. The Vikings could save up to $8 million against the cap, depending on when he is released, and Rudolph, 31, would get a chance to finish out his career in an offense that could utilize him beyond his ability to block, end quote. And the funny thing is, his blocking, yeah, but the podcast that she was referring to was when Rudy went on Ben Lieber's podcast a few weeks ago and said that he was worth every single dime of his contract and felt underutilized in the Vikings' run-heavy offense. Plus, again, like she said, wasn't getting the red zone time of day, as Adam Thielen had 17,000 red zone touchdowns. Now, I love and respect Kyle Rudolph and what he's done in the past. Great in the community, team captain, lockdown in the red zone, all-time great Viking, going to be Ring of Honor, all of that stuff, right? But I think that he is a pretty significant underdog to return next season. He's going to be 32 next year, $7.65 million base salary with no guarantees, and Vikings can free up $5.1 million in cap space by cutting him right now, or if he's a post-June 1st designation, the Vikings can prorate out the hits to a signing bonus and free up to $8 million. So, but we've been surprised before. Like, I was shocked. I was floored when he got his 4-year extension right after the Vikings drafted Irv in the second round 2019. The team does seem to have an attachment, maybe some nostalgia with Rudy. So I don't know if they'll pan out this time, because Irv and Tyler Gronklin are ready to thrive as the top two tight ends in this offense, where they get after it blocking, and they're young, they're dynamic, and they just bring a different element than Kyle Rudolph. Plus, Brandon Dillon, the Marion Barbarian, heading to year 3, is a nice prospect as a tight end 3 as well. And if the Vikings are in a tight cap situation, it's time to move on. Now, I don't think that there will be a trade market, because I think teams know that the Vikings will be selling on Rudy, and teams will just wait until the Vikings cut him and then scoop him up for a song. Plus, his new squad likely won't want him to be the 5th highest paid tight end in the league. I mean, Rudy averages more money than Zach Ertz, which is just, no, that ain't right. But maybe if a team is really worried about that, they won't get Kyle Rudolph in free agency, maybe you can squeeze out a 7th or conditional 6th. Unlikely. So I think the Vikings are just going to have to cut him. But his free agency options, like the Bengals, do make the most sense, where they have the cap room going back home for him, the pride of Cincinnati. Plus, it'd be a nice veteran tight end target for Joe Burrow. The Browns, to a degree. Now, bear with me. So they signed Austin Hooper last offseason to big money. They drafted stud Harrison Bryant out of Florida Atlantic. Awesome. Plus, they do seem done with David Njoku, who is going to be back on his 5th-year option next year, but they could just rescind that and move on. Plus, the Browns ran multiple tight ends, a staggering 48% of their offensive snaps. Now, comparison, the Vikings were a very tight end-heavy team, only ran at 34%. So the Browns were pounding the piss out of people by multiple tight ends, also 6 offensive linemen. It was great to see, right? Plus, of course, Stefanski reuniting with Rudy, and Stefanski was actually the Vikings tight ends coach for 2 seasons, the first 2 years under Zimmer, 2014-2015. So that makes sense. Patriots have always been talked about as a destination, although they did draft 2 tight ends in the mid-rounds last year. And then also the Chargers, if they move on from Hunter Henry, who played on the franchise tag this year, yeah, maybe that makes sense for Kyle Rudolph to work with Justin Herbert. But that's besides the point. The Vikings cutting Rudy, and since it's not an expiring contract, they would not be in line for a compensatory pick, so no. But Courtney's right. I think that it would benefit both sides. Rudy still has some good football left in him, especially as a red zone target. Probably could squeeze 2, maybe even 3 years out. Go that Jason Witten end of career sort of career track. Or hell, maybe replace Jason Witten with the Raiders. Did you know that Jason Witten was on the Raiders this year? That's crazy. Pair up with Darren Waller, and let's go. But yeah, the Vikings are ready for a youth movement. Irv and Gronklin are ready to thrive. So it's been real. It's been fun. But yeah, sorry, Rudy. But your thoughts, Kyle Rudolph, Vikings would benefit from a change of scenery. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work, post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.